in Saudi or Bahrain or wherever, places like that. But I definitely think we should keep them. I think they're fantastic. I think they make more money than they spend. Like you say, tourism's great. And, watching these recent episodes of The Crown, like the scenes where Diana's getting all these letters, you quite quickly realise that a large portion of the country absolutely loves them and really sort of needs them as a figurehead, someone to look up to, someone to think about, someone to talk to almost, through their letters and their, thoughts and prayers and things like that. And you don't realise often how important they are to a lot of people throughout the country, whether we think they're, useless or not. Like, they're really important to a lot of folks. And, overall, I like them. I mean, they're humans like everybody else, so there's going to be flaws, and it's a bit of a drama, isn't it? Really, a real life drama. All these things really happened, and people watching TV have to remember that it's like based on fact. And I think the people making the program, i.e., Netflix, really need to be as accurate as they possibly can, because I've read a lot of articles in the paper, sort of opinion pieces in the paper, and it seems like they're getting more and more willy-nilly with the truth. They know it's a massively popular program, and they're sort of changing little bits here and there, and they're getting their poetic license is getting greater, right? Which I think now that the timeline of The Crown is catching up to reality almost, or it's getting much closer, they need to be stricter almost, because the people that they're talking about are very much still alive, and very much, you're sort of,
future king in some ways, right?
literally, and they've got to be very careful. And I think Netflix are going to come unstuck a little bit, particularly with the next couple of series after this one.
Yeah, I think I haven't watched any of The Crown, to be honest, going into it, but I have heard that obviously, like, Charles isn't particularly happy with how he's been portrayed with the Diana thing. And the weird thing is, there's information about Diana coming out now, right?
Yeah.
Even now, like, the history hasn't been set in stone yet. Like, there's still things like, reporters lying to her and getting her to say things under sort of false pretenses, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting.
It's almost too fresh, I think. I think they should maybe have stopped after the last series.
Yeah, or started further back, right? I don't know. How far back did they start? I haven't watched it, like I say.
I think the first one was the Queen's father. Who?
Yeah, they
should have gone. They should have gone at least 100 years earlier, right?
I mean, if I guess they didn't know it was going to be as popular as it is, I guess. But that, I mean, if the capitalist in me says, milk it for as much as you can, start way back, Yeah. I would have loved to seen. Yeah, that's a shame. I would have loved to have seen like some of the more historical kings and queens, like,
I mean, start with Henry VIII or someone. You've got plenty of run up then.
Oh, bloody hell! I mean, he's probably been. I guess there's probably been enough about him, right? I guess there's a lot of TV. They probably didn't want to tread on the same territory, but no, they could have. Imagine the trailer, like with Henry VIII like coming in the scene, like people would be like, oh, damn. Like Anne Boleyn, like, oh, she'll be fine.
Yeah, she'll be all right. She'll work it out. Mate, I'd highly recommend it, though, from a sort of political history point of view as well. There's so much stuff in there, because the Prime Ministers play a big role in The Crown as well. And it's just so interesting. Like, there's loads of stuff that I'm like, what? This didn't happen? What on earth? This is incredible. I never knew this happened. This is, and I'm learning history sort of through The Crown, which, again, is why I think they need to be very accurate, because...
Yes.
People, and I'll hold my hand up, I'm learning a lot of history through The Crown from watching it. So, there's a lot of stuff I'm sure that I've watched and thought, oh, that happened. And it's like, no, it didn't quite happen like that in reality. So they should be accurate. But yeah, it's dead good. Like, if you're into politics, which I know you are, like give it a go. It's so good. Churchill and Thatcher and all that.
To be honest, and as bad as this sounds, like, I would imagine, I think English politics is definitely one of my, weaker subjects, to be totally honest. I mean, obviously, I've got a decent knowledge of it, but beyond Thatcher, and even Thatcher herself, like there's definitely holes in my knowledge. So I would like to. I've got a book called The Downfall of the British Empire, which doesn't sound very optimistic, to be honest. I don't know how the author's going to deal with it, but and it goes basically through the entire Industrial Revolution to present day.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to going through that. That's a pretty heavy book, so that's on my list. So I kind of should watch it really, because I feel like that would help fill in some gaps in my knowledge for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's good watching with the missus as well.
Yeah, cool.
blokes and women like it the same.
Yeah, for different things.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
I tell you what, actually, quickly speaking of books and stuff, I wanted to sort of bring up the point. Recently, I've been really enjoying YouTube. Basically, has been throwing me some videos, throwing me some bones of people that I completely disagree with pretty vehemently. So it's interesting because I've been talking to a lot of people about this algorithm that people say sort of feed you like an echo chamber. It just feeds you the same stuff that you agree with all the time, so you stay on it.
Yeah.
But recently, it's been giving me some of these sort of very like left-wing communist socialist sort of YouTubers.
Right.
And I've been watching them, and I still disagree with them, but like I've been watching them, and I've sort of almost forced myself to watch through them, no matter how much I disagree and no matter how angry it makes me sometimes, just to get an idea of what people are saying on the other side of the aisle, right?
Right.
And
that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think so. And it's interesting because there's sometimes I've watched one of my favourite sort of commentators who's been out of the limelight for a little while, but was very popular a few years ago is Jordan Peterson, and there'll be a clip of him debating some an atheist about the idea that the atheist would say there's never been like an atheist political movement that you can say has caused deaths, and he would say, well, no, Stalin was pretty atheist, and the USSR was Soviets were pretty atheist at the time, and then there's argument anyway. So there'll be a clip of that on like a right wing or centrist right wing YouTube channel, and all the comments would be like, yeah, Jordan Peterson killed him. And then there'll be the exact same clip put up on like a communist left wing YouTube channel, and then all the comments would be like, that other guy won. The Jordan Peterson's a loser and stuff.
Right.
Anyway,
okay.
So I was watching it. I was watching the same clip that I'd already seen and reading through the comments of this sort of more left-leaning perspective of it. And a lot of the things were saying like Jordan Peterson doesn't know anything about socialism, doesn't know anything about Marx, and they're like saying things like, "Oh, I can't. I've given up on arguing with people who have never read Marx."
Right. Okay.
Or people who don't understand Marxism. So I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm going to get into it. So I bought Das Kapital, which is Marx's like in-depth like communist, not the Communist Manifesto, which he did help write, but the more in-depth book apparently.
Right. Okay.
And I'm going to read it, and I'm going to go through it, and every point he comes up with that I can't answer, I'm going to see if I can figure out a way of answering it.
Right. Okay.
And really challenge myself. I don't know. I just thought it's a good idea to try it. I don't know.
Man, if only more people did that, right? The problem is that most people just know what they know, and they just keep spouting what they know at somebody else who knows what they know, right? Whereas, the way that we climb out of this perpetual spiral is by reading stuff, right? Particularly stuff that we don't know about or we don't agree with, those sort of things, to try and broaden our horizons. So yeah, very honourable. I salute you, sir.
Haven't done it yet, so don't give me too much credit.
How thick is it?
It's actually smaller than I thought. The print's pretty tiny, but the book's not as big. When it came through the door, I was pretty relieved.
Okay.
So
nice. Lots of pictures,
Yeah, that's it. I'll do it. Exactly. Hopefully. But I'm going to go through it. I'm going to mark it up. I'm going to write my thoughts in as I'm reading it. Just give myself some, just going to sort of debunk or dispute the points that he comes up with. Hopefully, as I'm reading. That's the plan.
Okay, brilliant. I'm gonna let you be a guinea pig on that one, and then if you think it's going to expand my horizons, I'll do the same. So
okay.
yeah, let me know how you get on and whether you think I should join you in reading that. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Either way, it's going to be good. Either we agree on it and we like bond over it, or how Marx, he's so silly, or I'm going to turn into a communist and we'll have like massive disagreements. But either way, it'll be good. Like good content.
It'll be fun. Nice. So recently, I've been reading something completely different, fiction for a start, and it's the books of Eric Ambler. Do you know this guy, the author?
No.
Okay,
no,
so he's a sort of a precursor to Ian Fleming. So he's a little bit, a little bit older. I know we briefly touched on Somerset Maugham, that was a precursor to him. Even that was the World War One spy guy.
Oh, I see. Wow, this is the double precursor.
Yeah. So Somerset Maugham was the first one, I think, the World War One guy, and I read his book, Ashenden, and that was fantastic. And then this guy, Eric Ambler, is sort of in between Somerset Maugham and Ian Fleming. So he's sort of during World War II, basically, or at the outbreak of World War II. And he wrote a handful of thrillers based on characters that were unintentionally caught up in espionage. So they were, one was a teacher, a languages teacher that was on holiday in the south of France, which was really good. Epitaph of a Spy. And then there was who was accused of being a spy, basically, when he wasn't, and he had to sort of dig himself out with incredible consequences. And then the one I'm on at the moment is Journey into Fear, which I've not quite finished, but he's a British engineer. Engineer, that's it.
Okay.
And he is basically on his way back from Turkey back to Britain in Istanbul, and he gets shot at, basically. He's been out at the club all night, and he comes back to his hotel, and he opens the door, and someone tries to kill him immediately. And he thinks, oh, it's just somebody burgling my room. And then his mate that works for the company in Istanbul's like, no, they're trying to kill you because of what you know engineering-wise. And he's like, no, I'm not a spy or anything. And they're like, they don't care. They're trying to kill you because you're helping the British whatever.
Wow.
And then adventure ensues, basically. And they're just so good. So I'd highly recommend them.
Great.
Yeah, the novels of Eric Ambler. He's sort of one of these sort of godfathers of thriller, English thriller writing. So yeah, well up there with Fleming. You can see lots of the James Bond traits in a lot of these Eric Ambler characters. So yeah, awesome. I'd highly recommend those.
Very cool. Oh, nice. I need to check it out. I don't think I read enough fiction, to be honest. I do listen to audiobooks sometimes, but it's most of the time if I'm reading, it's non-fiction at the moment. So I need to shift it up a bit.
I feel like I need to have a bit of a selection on the go for me to get through anything. Mm-hmm. I find like if I think about reading or listening to a book, I know immediately what I want to listen to. I'm like, I know I need to hear some really dry book about economics right now because that's just where my brain is. But then if it's like before bed, I'm like, no, I can't read that crap. I need to read some spy thriller. Some guy running away from a secret agent, like that's what I need to read right then,
Yeah, sure.
So I find that if I have 2 or 3 things on the go, like I can, I get through so much more because it's just how I'm feeling at that point. I've never got to force myself to do it. I never got like, oh God, I've got to force myself to read this economics book because I know tomorrow on the way to work I'll be well in the zone for that, and I'll put it on in the car or whatever.
Yeah.
Is it that time of night, my friend?
Not sure what time you're talking about, mate. One sec. What? Let's. Oh God.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Got it.
Mate,
I need to redo the knot on this thing.
You don't know how much I'm missing the genuine pub. The actual last orders. Like I really miss it.
Yeah. You took it for granted. It annoyed you back in the day. You were like, what? Already? Exactly. You look at your watch, you look at your phone, you'd be upset. What I'd give for that right now.
Exactly.
What I'd give to be annoyed at a barman right now.
To have been out to the pub, had a skinful, like had a few laughs, gotten a bit leery, and yeah, those are the days, man. Those are the days.
Good old days.
Okay. So, question 1.
Here we go.
Since its debut in 2015,